In this video, we're going to take a quick break from the coding that we learned in the previous video and see how we can nice and easily add an image to our app using Xcode. So we're not going to be using any Swift code today, so I'm going to switch back away from the assistant editor and bring back in the left menu there. So to add an image, we start by adding an image view, which is essentially a container for our image. So I'm going to drag in the image view there. There we go. You can resize it, make it any size you like. That'll do for now. And then what we're going to want to do is add an image using the drop down here. Now the drop down at the moment is blank because we haven't inserted any images into our app. So let's do that. I normally get my images from wikipedia.org, and for some reason today I would like to add an image of a hedgehog. Wikipedia is a great place to get images, not only because they have images of pretty much everything, but they're generally of a license that allows you to use them. So there we go, there's my hedgehog. So I'm going to control click on the hedgehog and save image as, and then save it right there on the desktop. So hedgehog.jpg. We can use JPEG images as well as PNGs or GIFs. And then open up our Finder window to get our hedgehog image, and we just drag it into our project here. And I'll just put it right here under main storyboard. And then we get a few options, but I would always leave it at the default, copy the items in and create groups and add to our Hello World target. And then there we go, there's our hedgehog and we can see it there, brilliant. And with any luck, now if I go back and click on the image view and click in the drop down, then the hedgehog image is right there. And there it is. So now our hedgehog is in our app, which is great, but you can see it's not particularly well stretched, or a little bit too well stretched, depending on your point of view. So one option is to just resize it manually until you've got it roughly right, but that's not a great solution. So here is where we use this view mode that we didn't really pay much attention to with the other user interface elements. So at the moment we're on scale to fill, which means it will stretch the image all the way to the edges of the image view that you created. Sometimes that might be what you want, but let's look at some of the other options and see which work best for us. So first off, aspect fit. And that's generally, if you're working with an image that you don't know exactly what size it is, aspect fit is the best one because it will make it as big as it can, but it will retain the original ratios of each size, so it'll look as the image was originally intended. So that's what we're going to go for, aspect fit. But let's just have a look. Aspect fill does the same thing, but it actually stretches the image out, so it goes beyond the bounds of the image view, but it's still in the right proportions. So sometimes you might want that. Then there's a few options here. A lot of them are difficult to distinguish. So we've got the center and full size there, and you can kind of mess around, align it to the right, align it to the top left, etc., and make it full size. But generally, the best one is going to be aspect fit. And then just having a quick look down, we've got all the options that we have with most of our other user interface elements. We can change the alpha for transparency, set the background, etc., etc. But really, that's it. And I think that's so simple, I'm not even going to set you a challenge there. So get yourself ready for the big app that we're going to create in the last video in this section, which is cat years.